on, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of Your Average Girl Talk, where we aim to gain and give different perspectives on unpopular opinions and uncomfortable topics. Thank you to everyone tuning in and who has been tuning in. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys so much. Now, I did not ask you guys this week what you wanted to talk about on my IG story like normal. It was just kind of everywhere. But I did pick the topic for today, and I have a really exciting guest. So the topic we're going to be talking about today is parents versus the next generation. And the guest that I have is literally my other half. She knows me inside and out. She knows me more than I know myself. And I'm really excited to sit and talk with her today. And that is because I brought on my mom. Yay!
Hello, everybody.
So before we get into it, just let them know who you are and what you do day to day.
Well, my name is Jenny. I am a hotel manager, and I'm 42 years old.
Okay.
And I have raised 2 great children, and I have lots of opinions.
Okay. Yes. And I can't wait. So she told you her age because obviously we're talking about parents versus the generation, so I feel like it's pretty relevant for this. So thanks for sharing that. You look 29.
Thanks.
So
I tried.
So I guess I kind of want to start with, your story, because pretty much my mom is like the hardest working person I know, the most driven. Like if there's something that needs to get done, she's going to do it like times 100. So those characteristics I feel like kind of came from somewhere. So
Right.
You had me at 19, yeah?
Yes.
And did you get support from your family at all?
Like 10 days after I turned 19, I had you.
Fresh.
So,
Okay, a fresh
yeah,
19.
Babies having babies.
Ooh. Hashtag. Babies having babies up in here.
So yeah, life became serious at that point, and it was no longer about myself.
Yeah.
So you are 19, you are trying to figure out life, and now you have a baby.
Yeah.
So you need money.
Period. So that
You've
means
got to make money.
That means working, right?
Working.
And so what was like, and of course I know the answer, but I mean, let them know kind of like, what was it like for you working? How much time were you with me? How much time were you working?
Luckily, having a family support system was crucial. Mm-hmm. Having other people to help out, because obviously impossible to work full time and raise a child by yourself.
So you're referring to like babysitting, like having someone to watch?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Yeah.
So family helped out a lot with that. But it was pretty much, working all day or all night, and then with you when I could.
Yeah.
But it was just working as much as possible to make as much money as possible.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like I had a degree. I wasn't making a lot of money. It was minimum wage.
Yeah, so that was just like hard work all the time, all you did. Well, I mean, and you got into management kind of early. Like
Yes.
You were kind of young, right?
Yes, I was literally working at a pizza place, and I needed more money.
Yeah.
And the way to make more money was to move up.
Yeah.
So I was very young when I got promoted to a manager at a restaurant. And I was, at that point, making more money than most of my peers. And
Period. Okay, hello.
yeah, but it was a lot hard work, lots of hours.
Yeah, tons of
overtime.
like responsibility. I feel you had to.
Yeah, so now I'm still young.
Yeah.
And trying to raise a kid and manage people that's at sometimes were twice my age.
Sheesh.
And I had to learn how to manage people on every platform. It was very difficult, and you have no choice but to grow up. You have no choice but to mature.
Yeah.
And make better decisions. Because now every decision you make is now affecting everyone around you.
Yeah, and that's real. Like you didn't really have a choice.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know there's a lot of people. I mean, even still my age that have kids really young, but I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong because I don't know, but I feel like there was definitely at one point where that was like the thing where like people were just so young and just having kids, like 16 to 19, like teen years having kids, and so I feel like a lot of people around your age are similar in that sense.
Absolutely.
Not all, but I feel like a lot of you
No, we were all having children.
She said no.
That's what you did. My generation was a mess.
Okay. Hey, she said it, not me. Okay. And I do feel like, that reality kicks in and like survival mode does kick in to where you're like, I got to do what I got to do. And that's just that. And then you have kids and then you do well for yourself. And then your kids can make podcasts on the internet
right.
and not be managing a pizza place at 23.
Which we've compared that before.
We've
compared our lives and where I was at 23 and the differences in our lifestyles. Yeah. Which, of course, what every parent wants is to be able to have children, be able to live out their dreams and have a life outside of necessity. My life was a necessity. It wasn't what I wanted. It wasn't what I wanted to do. Those were not factors at all. So most of my, all of my adult life has literally been doing for others, living for others.
Yeah.
That's a huge difference in our generations.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm grateful that pretty much you did what you had to do, because now I have the lifestyle that I have, and I'm okay. I've been okay for all of my life. And I think that's kind of like the job of parenting, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think some people get kind of put down when they are in a good spot or when their parents have set them up, you know what I'm saying, to be in a good spot. And I don't necessarily think that's bad. I think that's your job as a parent, so I'm grateful for that. But where do you feel, and let's just kind of talk about people my age first, where do you feel like our work ethic differs? She couldn't wait. Okay, she could not wait to say something. I'm excited.
The way things are now, I work with and know a lot of people in your age group.
Yeah.
It's, they want to be entrepreneurs.
Yeah. All of us. Everybody.
They don't want to work for the man. They don't want to have a 9-to-5. They want to work for themselves and make their own money. Yeah. And as an old-timer, that makes no sense. Which is great if you are in the small percentage who make it big and make tons of money. But that reality in my mindset is that only a very small percentage of those people will be able to be successful enough in that where they could actually survive off of it or raise a family or even save for retirement.
Yeah, generational wealth or anything beyond a couple years.
Right.
Which is valid. Like, I feel like that's a very fair argument or thought or observation even. And the biggest thing or the biggest way I've felt about that is just like the technology is so different and the social media we use is just different. And we have all these different platforms and stuff to where it's like now anybody kind of has access to be an entrepreneur. And that's kind of the difference. I don't think you guys had as many resources or tools. And I mean, more so just like any influencer or like content creator, like their marketing and any business, you know what I'm saying? Wherever you market, you pay for marketing, and before it was billboards, it was like ads in the newspaper, and now it's social media.
Total different. There's such a difference.
Yeah.
There is such a difference. Yeah. That wasn't an avenue. That was even a possibility. So it is someone with where I am looking at that doesn't make as much sense.
Yeah.
You know, and I've said it before, like, I know you and your friends, your thought process is that's the future.
Yeah.
That sits in my mind, you and Joe Flo.
Joe Flo. Shout out Joe Flo because we had this talk. What's good?
Having that conversation where you're like, this is the future. Yeah. And when I look at it, I'm like, this is a passing phase. Because I can't picture a world where the internet and computers and people sitting in front of computers and everyone staring at screens is a lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know, I hope not. Like, that's kind of scary. You know, you watch those futuristic movies and it's like,
yeah. Is that what we're coming to? Or what's going on?
You think of those movies and it's like, if that's what the future is. I mean, I hope not, you know.
Yeah.
It's hard to find people now that the working man, I don't know any other way to say it, you know, laborers getting out there.
Yeah.
They said they can't find them anymore. People don't want to do that.
Yeah.
They don't want to do that work.
and that's one thing I do think about is like, you know, so many of us do want to go that entrepreneur route, which I do think is feasible. You know, I think most of us probably hit a wall and that's why we don't succeed. You know, you give up. But all the men that you're working for did it. So it's like, you know, it is possible. And I think we just have that thought process and, you know, we're optimistic about that career choice. But yeah, like at some point, what if we do all figure it out and then no one's a freaking doctor? Like, who wants to go to school for 8 years or whatever?
Who's going to be in the factories?
Who's going to do that if you don't have to?
We're not going to have toilet paper. Remember the whole toilet paper crisis? We're not going to have toilet paper because no one's going to be working in the factories.
That is something I definitely like thought about 110% because that's a real thing. Like if we feel like we don't have to and everyone my generation and below us.
What was that?
I don't know. Did you guys see that? Did everyone just see that? you know, if my generation and below really just has this thought process, that is kind of scary. Like, who is going to be working in the fields where we need hands-on help?
Yeah.
They'll probably pay more somehow, and then we'll be more in debt. But whatever, that's not what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But all in all, I guess, in a sense, I don't think the work ethic is on the same level, but I think it's just in a different way. You know what I'm saying? I think we commit a lot of time into our creativity. Like, I feel like we have to commit differently. Like, we have to tap into a different mindset than you guys. Like, why?
That's where my mind just starts going, where, like, that's not work ethic.
Period. She's like, that doesn't count.
Work ethic is getting up off your ass and going someplace and working and sweating and putting your time in, making a fat paycheck, contributing to your 401k, earning that in those insurance benefits. Yeah. Like, that's when I think work ethic. So, like, it's just funny to hear you say, I'm tapping into my creativity.
Okay,
that's my work ethic.
Okay, so then, but hear me out. Because, of course, like, you know, I have a friend that does very well in the influencer content creator world. And his work is getting up, creating a video, and then getting paid a couple bands.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not the same, but my boy getting a check.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's just, I think all in all, like, that is just, it's just different.
That's the difference.
We'll see. I think we'll see if it's a phase, you know, and this stays around for a lot longer, or if we kind of get into that hump where we're like, okay, now we need people to, like, get on their hands and knees and, like, get into factories and become doctors.
Right.
And, you know, so that we will see. But I am also curious to know, as far as emotionally,
okay,
how do you feel like we differ? And I have my thoughts, so I'm excited to share mine. But just the average person compared to your generation.
My generation definitely came up with the saying, don't speak unless you're spoken to. Don't speak unless you're told to. And we were raised that way.
Yeah.
So our opinions don't matter.
Okay, we don't say much. We just do.
We're doers. You know, we're not talkers. We're doers. Now that's changed definitely. You know, with social media the way that it is, everyone has something to say about everything in the world. Everyone's a commenter.
Yeah,
everyone has to comment on everything.
True that.
But you know, just like emotions and the way that we are and the way we carry ourselves, it's completely different.
Yeah.
The younger generations are, what about me?
Yeah.
What about me? Everybody listen to me. Everybody hear me. Where my generation's like, you don't talk about that.
Yeah.
You know, you do what you have to do. You buckle down, and if you need to lose it, you go into the bathroom and you lose it.
Okay, in private.
And then you wipe your face off, and you pull your panties back up, and you get out and do what you got to do. And so that's kind of where the terminologies, you know, like the sayings of like the younger generations just being so soft.
Okay, soft. We're some softies, huh?
You know, it's that's another one of those things that's harder for my generation to understand.
Yeah.
But we were raised that way.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I kind of do, I mean, I agree. I think everyone does have something to say, because now so many more people have access to hear you or read it or care and agree. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, in some cases, I think it's a good thing. Like, I think it's great. And for example, LGBTQ community, I mean, they are literally a force to be reckoned with. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, for so long, you know, people within that community felt like they couldn't say anything. Now they can.
Right.
And that's, I think, the plus side of kind of just us being able to speak up and have a voice. But
let's talk about the negative.
But let's talk about the negative, because, you know, I think we forget that they're opinions and they don't always need to be said, you know? And I think you have to grow as a person, and you need to, like, find it within yourself to handle things a certain way. You don't always have to just speak.
Just because it goes through your mind does not mean it needs to come out your mouth or through your fingers. And
especially, and I will say this, especially with, like, respect as far as your employers or just parents and stuff. I feel you know, I feel like I've witnessed a lot of, like, kids, more so younger than me, I don't know about my age, but, like, very out of pocket, you know, talking to their parents crazy, or just people at work, and stories I've heard just from, like, you and, you know,
how people treat people.
Yeah, like, you know, like, you can't, I still don't think it's right just to say anything just because you don't like it. You know, you still have to figure out how to, like, wrap your thoughts around it and handle it and speak on it when necessary. You can't just be like, I'm upset or I'm mad, and just boo-hoo about it or jump, you know what I'm saying, or gossip. And I don't know. I do agree with you in that sense that we kind of just have a lot to say. Like
it got.
Ignore that, y'all. Sorry. Get up.
Done.
Okay. Time for dinner.
Yeah, I 100% believe it started with social media. I mean, that's my philosophy, that people now have an outlet. And after they've been doing this, I mean, my generation got hip to MySpace and, Facebook, but just not that long ago.
Yeah.
10 years ago?
Yeah.
Not that long ago.
True.
So now over the course of the last decade, everyone has just become accustomed to commenting, opinions, judgment.
Yeah.
That's the biggest one, is judgment. Everyone has something to say about something.
Yeah.
And Lord forbid it doesn't match what someone else's opinion is.
Yeah. And then it's a whole shebang.
It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. And this is us as a society right now feels so like that we have to go just tell everybody how we feel about everything.
Yeah.
And people, in my opinion, people need to learn to shut up.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect
agree.
you.
Yeah, I agree. We talk a little too much. Okay, we talk a little too much. And that's where, our softness, I think, comes. You guys are tough because you're like, I'm just going to deal with it and figure it out for myself and keep it pushing. And we're like, well, I want you to know why I'm sad.
Right. Let's talk about my feelings.
I am sad. I am mad.
Listen to me.
Look, those are pretty much the two main points that I really wanted to touch on. I don't know if you have anything else that you feel like is like a major difference between the generations you wanted to touch on at all, or if we pretty much hit.
I think those are the two major things. Emotions and work ethic.
Yeah.
I think those are the two biggest disconnects that I see.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not necessarily with me and you.
Yeah.
Like me and my generation, your generation.
Yeah.
I see, obviously you have a sister.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
there's a little bit more of a gap there.
Yeah.
But,
and I think so too.
Why? Look at your 16. Is she 16 now?
16, yeah.
Look at your 16-year-old sister. I forgot her age.
I know.
Look at your 16-year-old sister, and she watches a video, and she goes straight down to the comments, and she reads what everyone has said.
That is true. We did see her do that the other day, and you commented on that. You're like, why are you looking at the...
Why does it matter what everyone has to say about that video?
It's like second nature, though.
Yeah.
Especially because, kids, like I said, younger than my generation, like, kids are just always on the iPad. They're always on YouTube, or they're always watching videos, or TikToks, or whatever. So, TikTok. Them, I can only imagine, like you said, there's a gap. I'm like, I'm kind of like, I still had to, like, fall in the dirt and run around outside when I was a kid. Like, there's a little bit of a difference. Like,
yes, you didn't have that. You didn't have it when you were little. Yes. Yeah. You guys, you were still alive in the VCR age.
And I love me some good VCRs.
You had a VCR when you were little.
And a Game Boy. Okay? We had those type of electronics. Okay?
So you experienced that now, but I think that's what's grounded you a little bit more.
Yeah.
Get outside and play.
Yeah.
That's and just between your guys' generations. And there's not many years difference, but these are how the kids are being raised now.
Yeah.
Put your 3-year-old on the couch and put the iPad in front of them and put some cartoons on. And instead of playing.
No, seriously. And I feel like, and I literally just thought about this when you were talking, but I'm like, maybe that is a difference. Like, when we had issues as kids, like, you had to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? If you talk some smack, like, we were fighting and rumbling around when we were kids. Like, they're not doing that. If they have a problem, they're going to comment and nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
And not that I condone fighting at all.
Right.
I definitely don't even know how to fight. Like, let's talk about it. I don't know how to fight.
She has never been in a fight.
I was, like, little or whatever. I was, like, 6 or 7. Like, it counts.
I've been in lots of fights.
Look, okay. Girl, anyway. So, but that's different. When you had a conflict, you had to deal with it, regardless. If you guys didn't agree, whatever game you were playing, like, that was it. Now,
you just do what you do and keep on moving.
Yeah.
There's no repercussions for your actions and words.
over a screen.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, I didn't even think about that until just now. That's crazy. Maybe it did keep me a little grounded. The social interaction as a kid keeps you grounded, guys. Even those, like, tussles when you're 5 or 6. Yes. But all in all, I feel like this was a pretty good talk. I feel good. I feel like we hit some pretty good points. So I appreciate you for coming on.
Oh, anytime.
I literally never thought my mom would do this. So I'm pretty excited or whatever. But definitely make sure you guys keep an eye out on my IG story to vote for the next topic poll at nick.knack_. And drop a comment below. Let me know. Okay, what generation are you in? What are your thoughts? Do you agree? What points did we not touch on? Yeah? And I will see you guys next time.